I've written and published 6 books, and I'm on my 7th one at the moment, which is the second one in my series called The Last Blackout. And people ask me how I write books and how do I publish them. And this is a somewhat contrarian view to the mainstream. And it will allow you to write your books. And you might never sell 1 million books, and that's okay. You only have to sell something like 50 books to be in the top 50% of people who sell books, because there's so many people writing books. But you can write a book for yourself, for your friends, an autobiography. I know people who've written a book and only published it for their family, or they've written a book and they've given it to their friends, or they've written a book and they use it as a CV, which is kind of what I do in my case. And some books I sell, and some books I give away, and some books I give to raffles or charities and libraries and so on. So yeah, I've sold a few hundred books of each of my 6. So I'm doing pretty well. I'm happy. And writing a book is like studying. You spend 12 years at school. Maybe you spend 3 or 4 years at university. So, if you write a book and it takes you 6 months or a year, then you're 1 year of those 4 or 12 years in. So people say, but David, you're not a famous author. Look, I'm a famous person. That's cool. I'm very well known in the energy industry. But, I'm not a famous author from the book point of view. I've written thousands of blog posts and been in lots of videos. And I say, well, it doesn't matter. I've got 20 books in me. I've written 6. There's another 5 in various stages of production. And so let me just say the first thing that you need to do. And the first thing that I do is I like to write the outlines of the books on my phone or on my tablet. If it's an Apple, I use my notepad. Google Keep is also great. And I like to just write free format. So I just write, whether it's on my phone or my tablet or my computer. I just get on and I write. I don't think about what I write. I don't edit what I write. I just write. I write and write and write. And if you wake up in the morning at midnight, like happened to me last year, and you write for 8 hours straight or 6 hours straight, I call that getting a download. So if you feel like it's happening at 2 p.m. or you feel like it's happening at 12 a.m., then just get your phone out or get your tablet out or get a notepad out if that's your way, longhand. That's okay too. And just write whatever's in your mind. And if you think a thought, just write it in brackets or write it on another page. Just write and write and write. And while you're writing, don't edit. Just write. And when you've written a page or 100 pages, and if you think there's another book, just write it down. Don't, or put it on a separate page. And you're going to write. And you're going to write 300 pages or 500 pages. Maybe more. And maybe you wake up one day and there's nothing you need to write. That's when you start editing. And then my recommendation is to use Grammarly. Start with a free version, and then when you can afford it, just pay for the 3-month professional version. They've got a very good program where you can just buy it for 3 months. I recommend that personally. I'm now on the annual program, but it's taken me a while to get there. It's not cheap, but it's also much cheaper than hiring an editor. What I found is that when I used the Grammarly to help me edit my first book, or not my first book, one of my books, not my first book that I edited with Grammarly, put it that way. It had taken me about a month to write the book down because it had all been in my head. It was a summary of 20 years of work, so it came out quickly. And then it took me 6 months to edit because I was editing 1 page a day with Grammarly helping me. And the thing was that it would say, write this in active voice. And then I would spend like an hour trying to write it in active voice. And then I would say, okay, that doesn't make sense. And then it would be like, rewrite this. And then it would be like, this doesn't make sense, take it out. Or it tells you to put a comma in a different place. And then you put a comma in a different place and it changes the context of the sentence. Or it makes a new sentence, but you don't want to start a new sentence. You want it to be comma and something. So I actually notice when people are writing on LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or any of these social media or blog posts, any social media where people are writing or speaking, or YouTube, you've got the feed, the syntax feed, the word feed. So I've noticed when people are actually using AI to help them edit, because I know how AI helps me edit. So AI is good from the point of view of checking your spelling, checking the commas, checking the grammar, telling you to be active instead of passive, but sometimes you just want to do it your way. And that's fine. That's fine. AI should be augmented intelligence. We should still use our brains. So number one, you're writing a book, just write. Don't think, just write everything. You might end up writing 5 books, and then you might have to separate them. You might have to spend months taking them apart. You might have to spend a year editing it. That's fine. That's really fine. Then what I do is I put it in a program called Scrivener. So Scrivener allows me to put the book into the format that I want it to be in. And I can drag chapters around. I can drag paragraphs around. I can drag sections around. I can move sections out of the book. I can move sections into another book. I can have multiple books open at the same time. So that's the next part of my process. And then I often have like 10 names for a book. Write all those names down. But in my opinion, write all the names down and only give the title to your book when you finish the book. A lot of people tell you that's the wrong thing to do. Give the book the title first. But in my case, my first book, I had like 10 titles for it. I wrote them all down and only decided on the title when I finished the book. So that's another thing. And then what I recommend you do is you get on Smashwords and that you publish the book in Smashwords first. And the reason for that is Smashwords gives you a huge amount of support in helping you to publish your book and a huge amount of information. And Smashwords, the guy that wrote the Smashwords program in the first place, he's written a book that helps you to publish. And the other thing that I found is that you can read 10 books, you can watch 100 YouTube videos, but you actually have to start. At some point, you've got to say, I know enough, and you write your book. If you have any questions or you have any comments, feedback, then please comment below. If you want to subscribe to my channel, that's great. If you don't want to, you just get the videos now and then. That's also fine. I do that quite a lot. So yeah, that's cool. And I love you all, and I really appreciate you watching my videos, and I hope that I've helped you today, and see you tomorrow.